And we are live. Welcome to the Slob Show. Hello, Roker.
Yo, yeah, what's up?
How's the eating going this week?
I couldn't even tell you. I've said that's the thing about when you have like a short week. It's like you got to cram 5 days of work into basically 3 days, right? Because nobody's going to be. Everyone's mailing it in tomorrow, even if you're not. And then on Monday, you got to catch up on everything that you weren't able to do last week. So I've been so like you were just telling me about fireworks explosion, fireworks factory exploded. It's
Yeah,
like I haven't even seen it. Like,
you're trying to cram 80 hours into 24,
exactly. Exactly.
which defeats the whole point of being off.
On vacation, right. Like you know what I had for dinner tonight? Uh Encore Salisbury steak.
Oh my God, they
Hello.
still make those?
Hello 1979. Exactly. I saw it in a store. I might have even bought it from like Gordon's or something when we were talking about Gordon's a few months ago because I
With
just
their
saw it.
what was it, $2 chickens? What was the deal they had?
Yeah, it was like something like I don't know, $3.99, $3, something really cheap chickens. And I saw it, and I'm like, I haven't had Salisbury steak in a long time. I was like, so I bought it, and Claire's like, we've got too much stuff in the freezer because, of course, I'm always bringing home stuff. So it's like, let me make those Salisbury steaks so we can freeze up, clear up some freezer space. And it tastes just like they did when I was 10 years old. I
So
said,
they're still
do you think,
delicious.
I'm like, yeah, you think there's any meat in here? But it tasted just like I expected it to. So I wasn't disappointed.
It's as you remembered.
It's exactly as I remembered.
Which I don't know if that's good or bad.
But that's not the case with like some stuff. Like I tried that with Kraft macaroni and cheese, and it wasn't like I remembered. Pop Tarts aren't as good as I remembered. Stuff like that.
It turns out nothing's as good.
Yeah, pretty much. Because they don't make it the same way.
By the way, if you're wherever you're watching this, if you go to the Slob Show Facebook group, you should join the Slob Show Facebook group anyway. But if you watch this on YouTube, that's for some reason all the comments, like the only way we get comments that we could bring up on the screen are if you watch it on YouTube. Because now all of Facebook, like I can't bring up the comments.
Oh, wow.
Instagram, I see your comments on Instagram, like Larry, let's see, Zach, Blackhawk, Enerps, Debbie Fine, Chino, Johnny, Lynn, Poker After Dark. I don't know if is that the show? AZAG. Like I see all you guys, but if you guys go on YouTube and watch this there, then I could bring your comments right up on the screen. Facebook now has gotten stupid also. So I can't pull anything up except from YouTube for the most part. So watch on you. Your best way of doing it is watching it on YouTube. Then you could just join the chat, the whole show, and it's good to go. Now, Roker, I asked you what you ate because this is what I ate last night.
Wait, I see crumbs. Wait a minute.
Crumbs?
It's a griddle. I can't. Oh, some sort of super torta.
That's right. It is a torta. That's correct. Look at that thing. God. Then he adds a little bit of mayo, of course. But look at that. God. So there's al pastor in that cheese. He took a cheese skirt and he rolled it. And there's al pastor, there's steak, lettuce, tomato, avocado, mayo, onions. Delicious. And I have this dude like right outside where I live.
And how much?
Like a few blocks away. $14. But I'm telling you, it was Roker, you got to see this position you're in. Oh, it's hilarious. Your screen was just frozen and you were like this.
Yeah, I know. And I could barely hear you in my headphones. I'm like that person on the news that's like trying to take their earpiece out while they're talking because there's feedback. So like I could barely hear you for the last like minute and a half. I'm fiddling with my headphones, trying to continue the conversation. I can hear you now, as long as I don't move my head. You can't tell how old and ratty these headphones are from the front. There's tape in the back and all kinds of stuff.
You got those at Radio Shack or what?
No, these were actually a gift from Mancal. These are
Are those Beats? Because I see the wire.
yeah,
They look
yeah,
like Beats.
yep, they are Beats.
Are you
They are
impressed
Beats.
that I knew just based on that red wire that they were Beats?
That's very astute of you. Yes.
Because I know that cable actually comes all the way out.
Are those Sonys that you're using?
Well, yes, they are. Old school.
Yes, I could see old school. I could see the little blue strip on the side there.
These are the go-to radio headphones.
There you go. Well, not when I started in radio, son. They were Radio Shack Nova 40s.
Were they like
And they-
$500 also?
They'd break and like they would rattle inside. They were awful. They were the worst. And now you just pay 50 times more for them and they're still fall apart on you.
All right, Sierra's the first one in 9. I'm telling you, everyone just go watch on YouTube. It's easier. Sierra said he thought all those baseballs behind you were eggs.
These are actually baseballs. Let's see if I can grab one. Here we go.
Is that the Mickey Mantle?
This is not the Mickey Mantle. This is the
Oh, nice. Was he drunk when he signed it?
And I think, yep. And he was not. I hope not, because it was like 9 o'clock in the morning. But so
That's
he
a
may
nice
have been
Wells
home.
autograph.
And he perfect gamed it too. 5/17/98.
I wonder
Wow,
what that's worth.
crazy.
$20, $100. What do you think that's worth?
Who knows? We'll call my boy Steve Grad up and ask him.
Let's see here.
See, here's
Let me
the
look.
thing about autographs. They're
Whatever
never
you'll
worth
pay.
more. They're right, exactly. They're worth whatever the market will pay for them. Maybe the biggest David Wells fan on earth. Then I might just sell it to you.
We're looking at about $200, but yours is much more beautiful
What is
because yours is on that. You have that nice black.
that one says $200?
They're all selling for around 200. Oh, here's one for 113. It looks like he's.
Well, that's a big difference.
It looks like he signs every baseball with that date, though.
But sometimes, like if you're at an autograph show, like the National is coming to Chicago in about a month. And that's the biggest, the lineup for the National is ridiculous. It's like everybody from every sport.
It's like
is gonna
Fanatics
be there
Fest,
signing.
probably.
But it's bigger. I mean, it's like it's the National. It's like the biggest autograph festival of the year. It's like International Fight Week. It was like UFC last week, right? The biggest week of the year, right? And so if you want him to sign David Wells, that says one thing. If you wanted to say David Wells and have the perfect game
That's an extra
date on it, it's another
$9 or
thing.
something.
If you want to put your name on it, that's another thing,
God.
right?
So if it said to L. Roker Jr., David Wells with that date, you're probably paying like an extra $100. You still there, Roker? Have we lost Roker? He's frozen. He's either frozen
Oh,
or
you
we
were
lost.
well, one of us.
Oh, there he is.
One of us was frozen. It's probably me.
You're back now.
Claire must be
Um,
streaming downstairs. Must be watching YouTube or something.
What's up, Vito?
Watching
Vito,
anything else.
watching on YouTube. That's one of our top guys there, Vito Battaglia. Love that guy.
Yes.
Another comment here on YouTube. L, I wanted a beef roll ever since you mentioned it on a past episode.
Dude, the beef rolls are outstanding. If you're ever in Joliet, hit up Rock City. It's actually in Rockdale, which is like just south of Joliet by like a stone's throw. And they're outstanding. And then you may have heard me talk about how they'll do different ones for the seasons. They did for St. Patrick's Day, they had a corned beef roll that had Swiss and Thousand Island dipping sauce and stuff like that. It was outstanding. Beef rolls, very tasty.
And it's called Rock City.
Yep, ROC.
I got to check that out. Everyone talks about those beef rolls.
We talked to one of the girls from the we talked to one of the girls in the kitchen that
Called in
day.
that one day.
Yes, she was very kind.
I'm going to mention this a lot today because this program I use for this live stream has changed everything. So Haley, Sunshine, Isabel, Leo, Chucky, all the people who just came onto Instagram now, if you go watch on YouTube, you could join the conversation because I can't bring up comments anywhere now except YouTube. Even on Facebook, I can't even bring up the comments, which is stupid. I think Twitch also, but who's on Twitch? I don't think anyone, right? So,
I definitely am not. I can tell you that much.
so Vito said he finally got it. So just go on my YouTube channel, Abe Cannon, ABEKANAN. Just click on the the little bell, and then you'll be notified when we do a new episode. And you could comment live while the show's going on.
Oh, you could go on my YouTube channel too. It's like
Yeah, go on. What's yours? Is it Al Roker Jr. or what is?
I don't remember. It's probably Al Roker Jr. or Roker Radio. Probably one of those two.
You can go,
put in Al Roker Jr. or Roker Radio. If you end up getting a 70-year-old diminutive black guy, then you ended up getting the real Al Roker. If you end up getting a fat black guy with no teeth, that's me.
I'm actually the guy if he's not too small. So we kicked off the show talking about this delicious torta that I ate last night, and I'm still paying for it, by the way.
I bet. How much did that cost?
It's $14, which I think is a good deal because you see how massive that thing is. Look at that thing. God,
did you eat it all in one sitting?
Oh, not only did I eat it in one sitting.
Oh, dude.
But I looked like a baby in a high chair because this thing was so messy. I had shit all over me, like everywhere. There was stuff on the table, my beard, I had to basically stick my whole head in the water to pretty much wash my face. Look at even Claire. Claire's now on YouTube. Here we go. Claire figured out how to watch out. That's the wife of Al Roker Jr. Maybe that's what she was streaming.
She might even be watching us on the big screen downstairs.
Oh, Tim from Barnwood Sports. Now, I love this guy. When I worked at Rock 95.5, Tim used to call in all the time, and he makes all kinds of cool memorabilia. He's like near Chicago. Little tip on autographed baseballs: use a blue zebra point ballpoint pen. Black pens and markers fade over time.
They do. I have a autographed like Jack Nicholson One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and the signature faded like completely just from the sunlight coming into the living room, hitting it over the years. Yeah.
Sergeant DDP on Instagram said open wide for Chunky. Hippie Cowboy is on. Les69 is on Instagram. All you Instagram folk, move over to YouTube. I'm telling you, you could join the show. So back to the street food. I will eat anything on the street, like anything.
Well, food always tastes better coming off of a truck for some reason.
I don't know why.
Food tastes better coming off of a truck. There's a food truck here in Joliet that's an actual restaurant, but it looks like a food truck.
That's smart.
They made it look like it's a food truck.
This is why I'm bringing this up for a reason. This is my idea, Roker. Why not have a big, why don't we just buy a parking lot somewhere and then hire people? I'm not talking about a truck. These dudes aren't a food truck. These dudes have a tent and they're set up with their grill. Why don't we just have a parking lot where we have a big tent and then we hire or we let food vendors come in? We charge them like X amount of money per week and we just let them hang out there. And then it's like, oh, there's a Philly cheesesteak place. There's a burger place. There's a hot dog place. There's
that's kind of how they do Maxwell Street now. Like, well, they have Maxwell Street just on Sundays now, and it's under the tent, and they've got the different vendors. It's like, it's just off of Maxwell Street. It's like around where the Manny's and the Chick-fil-A off of Roosevelt.
I know where like Maxwell Street is, but you're saying that they sell food on the street there once a week.
On Sundays, yes, on Sundays. So it's like part food fest, part like flea market. All the vendors are set up. They close the street down. Vendors are set up. You've got Mexican food under tents, different food under tents.
Oh wow. Well, how great would that be if it was every day? Like, wouldn't
No,
you? Wouldn't you?
no, that's a
I
good
would go there
idea.
every single day.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Like, oh, I'll take a Philly cheesesteak today. Tomorrow I'll have a jumbo hot dog. The next day I'll have a burger. I'll have some ribs. Like, it would. All we need is like 5 restaurants in there, and we could call it like the street food something, and then we just make a ton of money.
Now, the
Like,
interesting thing is, though, like in Chicago, for example, there's probably so many hoops that you got to jump through and so many politicians that you got to pay off under the
they will
table
grease them.
to
They'll
get,
grease
to get something like that done. And in the end, it wouldn't be worth it. Maybe in your neck of the woods that can easily be done. But I know food trucks have had a lot of trouble getting. That's why food trucks aren't as big in Chicago as they are in other parts of the country, like Austin and stuff, because they make it difficult here. And by the way, Tim, I've talked about Taco Heaven in Lockport here before. I've told Abe about it. He hasn't been there yet. But Taco Heaven in Lockport is like ridiculous, and they're so nice. They're one of those. He asked if I've ever been to Taco Heaven in Lockport. It's one of those establishments where I have absolutely no problem giving them my money, no matter how much it is, because the food is so good and the people and the family that runs it, they're so nice.
Now, when you eat it though, do you look like a baby in a high chair like I did last night?
You have to, because it's that like it's ridiculous. Yes.
Do you bring it home, or you would never eat that in public, right?
No, absolutely not, dude. No, no. I rarely eat in public. I hate eating in public. I
Lauren
really
has a
do.
strong stomach. Lauren checking in on YouTube. She has a strong stomach. That's good to know.
Well, that's how you develop a strong stomach, because when you're eating street food, you might be rolling the dice every now and then. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah, you're rolling the dice wherever. Claire and I were just watching the latest version of Kitchen Nightmares, which is called Gordon Ramsay's Secret Service, where he's in like a surveillance van, like John Taffer's in a surveillance van.
Oh God.
And he's got an insider from the restaurant that has contacted him that nobody knows about.
So he stole the bar rescue concept.
It's right. It's basically bar rescue with Gordon Ramsay, but they're showing rats running around and bacteria and all that kind of stuff. So sometimes you're taking your risk at a brick and mortar too. But yeah, street food is damn delicious.
Who's the guy who married the wrestler Gail Kim? He's like a big chef. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Robert Irvine.
So he has some kind of show too, where all he does is like everything he eats, he just spits it out.
Well, that was he used to have. He had Restaurant Impossible, where he did, it was a restaurant makeover. And then before that, he had another one. Mark Summers from, Nickelodeon, he was the executive producer of the shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you ever see that video of Mark Summers when him and Burt Reynolds almost got into a fight?
Why was Mark Summers with Bruce Reynolds or Burt Reynolds or vice versa? Because how could they have possibly almost gotten into a fight?
They were both on Jay Leno or something, and they were like hitting each other in the face with pies and all this stuff. I don't know.
Wow. Because it was like getting slimed or something, or
yeah, it was something where
who got pissed at who?
Well, obviously Burt Reynolds could kick his ass, right? And he was. Let me see. Hang on. So I don't remember why they started hitting each other with pies, but Mark Summers, like Burt Reynolds, was humiliating him, and then Mark Summers made the mistake of trying to get revenge on him, and it did not work out too well for Mark Summers. He was,
and they were never on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno together again.
This is it here. I forgot what they're talking about, but
I love the way Burt Reynolds always looked when he was on the Tonight Show. It was like he didn't care. Oh,
I know what happened. Oh, here it is. See,
wow.
Burt Reynolds threw water in Mark Summers' face.
No,
He's like,
Look like
fuck
Mark
these guys.
Summers just threw water on Burt
No,
Reynolds.
that was the revenge.
Oh, gotcha.
He was getting revenge, and then they did this whole thing where they like were throwing pies at each other, and like Burt Reynolds is obviously the alpha male here, and I used to love Mark Summers from Double Dare, but
Double Dare. Yeah, I couldn't think of the name of it. Yeah, Double Dare. Yeah. He wants to slap him so hard right now. You could just tell. You could just
look
see
at his
it.
face.
Yeah. Yeah. Not happy. Not
And
happy.
then
Yeah.
I forgot why they do this, but they go back to back with pies, and they like Burt Reynolds basically punches him in the face here. Look at this.
Yeah. This isn't too set up. Oh, wow. Yeah, that was a
Now watch Mark Summers slip. Now Mark Summers slips.
that was a slam dunk. It's all fun and games until somebody breaks their neck.
That was awesome. You know, Burt Reynolds would kick
And
his
Mark
ass. Like,
Summers
even
was
at that
never
age.
seen again. Yeah, exactly.
No, but Roker, what do you think of my idea? We need to get a parking lot. Like, what maybe we'll do it in Joliet because we need to find a place where they're going to be a little bit more lax with the rules, and we'll just have a parking lot. We'll have like 5 vendors, and it's all delicious street food: burgers, hot dogs, Philly cheesesteak, barbecue, and burritos. I would be there every night.
See, I like that idea. I've always said that in Chicago they should just shut down a bunch of streets. You know how like you know how they have the street festivals, right? Make it
Yeah.
like Bourbon Street, shut down a bunch of streets every weekend and just have that whole area just open where you can be walking around and going in and out of bars, going in and out, and then there's food vendors and you're drinking out of plastic cups and it's all contained and stuff like that.
But we need it every single night, and then you and I make a nice profit. Yes, Lauren said euros too. Yes, we need the Euro spit, the huge thing. Like, yeah, we're gonna have everything. Like, we'll have 10 places. It's kind of like what's the place? Call it Abe's Foodland. Someone said.
No, that
What's
sounds
the place?
let's go to Abe's Foodland. Yeah, can't wait.
Or we could just call it the street meat. Street meat, all street like street meat. That's the name. I think that's awesome. Street meat. Hey guys, let's go to street meat. Street meat.
Well, next
All
time
right.
I see the mayor of Joliet, I'll propose it to him.
All right, it's 7:34 p.m. Pacific time, 9:34 Central time, 10:34 Eastern time. That's our name. Street meat. That's our place.
Do
So if
you
anyone
think that
comes up,
you just copyrighted that just because
I
you
just
said what time
copyrighted
it
it right
was? Or
it's now
okay, that's
7:35. Street
You're
meat.
gonna go on Shark Tank with that street meat. What time is it? Street meat. That's ours.
Mr.
You're gonna buy
Wonderful,
that
he's
thing
like, I'm gonna need
Yeah.
30 cents in perpetuity per burrito sold. I want $1 a hot dog and I want $2 a burger until I recoup my 100 grand, and then I want 10%.
In
10% of
perpetuity,
business.
right? Exactly.
God. Oh, but Sierra said we should just call it slobs. But Sierra, we don't, we want everyone to come. So we call it slobs. That's going to be a major mistake for us. We need to just call it street meat. And yeah, gyros, Philly cheesesteak, hot dogs, burgers, burritos, everything.
I was wondering how long you were going to go naming foods.
Barbecue. This is awesome. I love this idea.
So you're saying don't steal it, people.
I mean, hey, if you want to give us our cut, but Roker, I think you and I can make a nice little profit here.
We could indeed.
I mean, can't we just buy a lot somewhere like for like a few $1,000s, like an abandoned lot?
Now the problem is it can only be open like 5 months a year in these
No,
parts.
no, no. We'll have heat. We'll have a heated tent.
Yeah, but are people going to really want to? Oh, someone says can't beat the street meat. I like that. That's that's the t-shirt right there, isn't it? Can't beat the street meat.
I like
But
that.
are people going to come out when it's like 35? It's not like it's a tailgate at a Bears game, you know. But if you could make it like that, right? And you'd have bands and stuff like that.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah, and weekends we kick it up a notch. We'll have a band. But just, I just want a place that I could go like I did last night when I was leaving my house, when I was leaving work, going home, And you just see the beautiful dude, the beautiful setup, and then
Was
you
this
just
a
get
tent
this.
or was this a truck?
No, he has a like a little tent. He has a little tent.
Okay. So he's licensed, right? I'm assuming he had a
I doubt
license.
it.
Okay.
I doubt it.
You just cook it up on the it could have been roadkill, it could have been anything.
I eat it so often, but then it's funny. Whenever I eat it, I am in the bathroom like the next day.
Yeah,
Like
right. You just chalk it up to, "Oh, man, I ate so much, I'm a
it's
slob."
good.
Never they never thought that it was a deer that he scraped off the bottom of the off the road, like, 3 days ago. That
Never think it's
never occurred to you.
never think it's my new tapeworm.
Oh
That
my
just
god.
I always said that I wanted a tapeworm until I looked into what a tapeworm actually does. Because it would be cool. Like Roger, don't you love getting the flu for a little bit? Because then you could at least, lose 10, 12 pounds.
Not really. No. See, this is I see where you're going here. Don't like the logic. You don't there used to be a weight loss candy called AIDS.
I remember that. AIDS, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I have the commercial somewhere.
So that yeah, right. So
AIDS.
yeah, so you don't want to, have, oh man, I wish I had AIDS for like a month, drop some weight. No. The
You
candy
ready, Roker?
or the other AIDS.
Roker, you ready for this?
Here we go.
Can you hear that?
Yep. Oh, I'm just hearing static. You're enjoying it.
You can't hear it?
No, I was hearing I thought I was going to
Oh,
hear something, but it was static. But
oh, never mind. Well,
I
that was the
enjoyed
AIDS.
looking at your face as I was hearing silence.
That was the AIDS
You
commercial. I was able to hear it. All right. You couldn't hear that? The AIDS? I was playing the
I could
AIDS
not hear
commercial.
it. I could not hear it, but
All right. Well, it's AIDS. You're right. It was a candy to lose weight. They're like, you get
yeah.
AIDS, you lose some weight.
Yep.
It's great.
Yep. Did not age well.
No, but like I said, having the flu is my least favorite thing. But then at the end of the 4 days, when that day when you wake up and your body is just completely covered in sweat and you know that it's
Right.
over,
Right.
you're super happy because you're like, whoa. And then you weigh yourself, you're 11 pounds down.
And then you're
And
like,
I'm like,
well, maybe I can use this to jumpstart for the next like couple of weeks.
exactly.
And then you get your appetite back, and then that idea went down the drain.
Yeah. Then you eat that, the first day you eat pretty good. Then the next day you're back at like Hooters or you're eating the street meat or whatever. But it is great. And that's why I said if I had a tapeworm, it would be cool because you do whatever you want and you lose weight.
Yeah, I don't. You can use your way, and I'll use mine. I won't. I don't think I'm going to use a tapeworm method.
Well, I'm
But
not either because I found out they're
but I
not good
get
for you.
you. Yeah, but I get you.
I found out that they like do real damage.
No more damage than mayonnaise. When
Eh,
you think when you think about it.
Not about that. I mean, I thought you loved mayo. What are you doing?
No, I'm just saying. Eating as much mayo as we do over the course of a lifetime, it probably is equal to the damage a
Let
tapeworm
me
can
ask you
do.
this, Roker, because you're just enough.
Some guys smoking 3 packs a day, going, these guys are disgusting.
You're just enough years older than me where I think I could ask you this question. And it's a legit
Uh-oh.
question.
Here we go. Here it is. Here it is.
When and I'm not, and I know that this has happened to other people that I know. That's why I'm asking you who are in your age range.
Okay.
When you were a kid, did you ever have worms?
No, I did not have worms. Not that I don't recall having worms. No.
Didn't kids all the time get maybe a little bit older than you, but didn't they used to get worms and they would take a lighter and put it up to their ass and then the worms would come out?
I have heard about stuff like that. I never had any worms. I don't think I ever knew any people that had worms. I knew people that had lice.
Oh yeah. Well, our whole school got lice
Right.
once when when some kid gave it to everyone. And then they had that stupid comb and then you had to get that shampoo and all that stuff. It was ridiculous.
Rid. You'd have to use Rid
Yeah.
to get rid of it. 2 70s references tonight, kids. Rid for lice removal, and AIDS weight loss candy. Let's see if we can go for the hat trick.
But worms and a tapeworm are different, right?
Yes. I guess. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on the Slob Show.
How did kids used to get worms? Let me ask the phone this, because
That's the difference between me and the younger Al Roker Jr. I no longer have the energy to pretend I know the answer.
it says poor hygiene. Eating on well, see,
For worms,
what were the worms where they would be in your ass and then you would have to take a lighter and put them up your ass?
wow, we're about to see how far AI
Oh,
has come.
you're probably thinking of pinworms, also known as threadworms, small white parasites that live in the intestines that come out of the anus at night to lay eggs, causing intense itching. Yes, because I remember my mom always told me the story about, I won't even say the person she knew was, but his mom would have to come into his room, light up a lighter on his ass, and then the worms would come out and they'd have to catch him.
Wow,
How
that's
disgusting
love.
is that? The
That's
female worms come out of the anus at night to lay microscopic eggs around the skin. It causes extreme itching.
I know, folks, that you're going. I love the Stop Show. They're always talking about the foods I love, and then Abe drops the anal worm bomb on you.
Well, it's a food and lifestyle show. Vito said it sounds like a bad Friday night.
Yeah, so having worms come out of your ass via a lighter is lifestyle.
No, but I don't want those. That's what I'm saying. I don't want those kind of worms. I would consider a tapeworm only for a while to get things going, and then when you're at the weight that you want to be at, then I'll be like, all right, cool, let's get rid of this tapeworm. But I
So
guess it's not that easy.
you're like the ass worms. They don't even help you lose weight. They're useless, basically.
They just make you disgusted.
What are you going to do for me, ass worm?
There's some lady listening right now, and her husband, I guarantee, had those worms in his ass at some point.
Oh, I'm sure. I almost said if this ever happened to you, let us know anonymously, but I guess you can't do that since your name would pop up. But
Anonymously, let us know in the chat.
now, did you watch any of the Secrets of the Bunny Ranch?
Oh, not yet. I have not.
Oh, dude, do you have okay? So you either recorded it or just stream it because it's over. It was 6 episodes. They ran it in 3 weeks. So
Well,
I guess they wanted it to be over by the holiday.
You talked about this last week. What were the most egregious things that they said that were not true? Oh, by the way, on Instagram, Brody said street meat is top tier. Roker, I think street meat has to happen. I really think so.
We'll take investors. We're looking for investors.
I think this is my new thing. I think this is what I'm doing next. Roker, if you want to get in, you gotta let me know quick.
I say, well, looking for investors. It's good. It's like, I know a couple of people that are basically, they're doing their hobby for a living and loving it. And I couldn't be more jealous.
Street meat. This is it. We're just gonna buy a parking lot. Like, let's get a parking lot. We could get a mortgage on the parking lot, and then we'll have 5 to 10 vendors each paying us thousands of dollars a month. And then we pay our little mortgage and we pocket the rest.
But where would we do? Or are you saying we would like buy up parking lots across the country?
Oh, we're going to start in Chicago, obviously in Chicago.
Franchise this out.
We're going to start somewhere near Chicago or one of the suburbs, and we're going to see how it goes.
Well, Lord knows there's enough parking lots out here, vacant lots. We could basically use the entire Joliet Mall if we need it.
Yeah, let's buy the Joliet Mall.
There's like a Lens Crafters and an Aunt Annie's in there, and that's about it. And like one weird video game that you sit in it like a race car, like a pole position.
You know what I just thought of though? Maybe we shouldn't. Maybe I just realized they'll get robbed all the time, right? Because you're gonna have all these people with cash on them, and then it's gonna be robbed.
You gotta have security and stuff all around.
That's another expense for us.
But but that's what, or you make it cashless.
Mm, I get. Yeah, I guess you could do that. I mean,
You hadn't
yeah,
hadn't thought this all the way through, huh?
I didn't think it through
Already
at all.
already you got people getting robbed at the joint. It's not even open, and you got people getting robbed left and right.
I think it's a good idea. I think we're going to get a lot. We're going to get an abandoned lot in We'll go in your broker. We'll do it in your area, Joliet.
Yeah.
We'll get a lot. We'll start out with 5 vendors. Burgers and hot dogs will be one. Philly cheesesteaks, burritos, barbecue, and what else? Euro place maybe? Or maybe we can start with those 4.
Could be anything.
We'll start with those 4. Burritos, burgers and hot dogs, cheesesteaks and barbecue.
And then all of the restaurants in the area would be protesting to shut us down. That's why there aren't many food trucks in Chicago, because people are like, wait a minute, I'm paying rent. I got brick and mortar. I got this, and then a food truck's going to pull up in front of my
We're
place
not a food truck anymore.
and
We're
take
not.
all
We're
my
street meat.
business.
We're street
Yeah,
meat. We're not a
I
food truck.
understand we're street meat, but like, I guarantee you, it wouldn't be able to be within like 1,000 feet of someplace else that has food.
I don't know about that. I think we could do it.
We'll see.
We're gonna figure it out, because I think this is one of my greatest ideas ever. Street meat, which is a festival of meat that you buy on the street.
Well,
And then Roker, yeah, like you said, we'll have some bands and stuff on Saturdays. Come on down to street meat, you know? Oh, do we have a beer license? Yeah, we do. Do you know why? Because we greased the right person.
well, maybe there's maybe the owners of Rock City are listening, and they want to.
They can do it with us if they want.
They want to get in on the ground floor of this amazing.
In fact, they could just do it and give us a cut. We don't do anything. That's the real goal. Hey, well, this is our idea. You know, I'm lumping you in with me, Roker, even though it's my idea, because I know you're a great partner. If I was going to put together street meat, so if there's one partner I could have, it would be you, of course, as the Yoda of the Slob Show.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I do appreciate that.
So you and I are going to run street meat. Now, if they want to just give us our money and call it a day, that's fine. You know,
I'd want to make sure it was run right. See? No, that's seriously. That's the problem.
Well,
you know,
course,
it's like
yeah,
people go out off on their own. They do their own thing, and
they ruin our idea.
You got people trying to undercut each other, right?
Yeah, this is all going to be in unison.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta lay the ground rules.
Now it's like what's the place in the West Loop? Is it called Market? You know what I'm talking about? It has like 10 restaurants. It's Market Street or something.
The Fulton Market.
No, but there's a place, a Timeout. It's called Timeout. The Timeout. Have you been there?
No, I have but it's probably it's a food court.
Yeah, and there's like
a food hall.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a food hall. There's like 15 places in there.
Yeah,
kind of like that, only all outside.
But they've tried to do food hall. They turned Cook County Hospital into a food hall. Do you remember that?
No.
And they turned Cook County Hospital into a food hall, and it lasted like a year.
But see, that's because it's not on the street. It has to be on the street. We have to have, it's a massive parking lot. We have our 5 food spots all next to each other, plenty of spaces to park, and that's it. Because when I will buy I'm telling you, I will buy anything I see on the street. Like there was a dude in a barbecue truck the other day. I bought it. Yesterday I went to the burrito place. If I go to a basketball game, they sell those hot dogs with bacon. I buy them every single time.
Sonoran dogs.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah.
I'll buy anything on the street. It doesn't matter. So, Roker, we need a Maxwell Street Polish on the street too. I just thought of.
Well, they already have Maxwell Street Polishes on the street everywhere.
Not at street meat though.
Not at street meat. They don't. Right. Exactly.
We want to cover every form of meat for people on the street, and it has to be fast. Like the dudes who make these burritos, they're fast.
So it has to be meat, is what you're saying. They're all meat vendors.
Street meat. That's correct. But of course you'll put other things together. But yeah, the main course has to be meat. Street meat. Maybe we just do.
You've been thinking about this for the last 24 hours, haven't you? You've been thinking about this all day, haven't you? Ever since you had that torta. You are not letting this die. You're not letting this.
Roker, this is it for us. This is our greatest idea ever. Yes.
I amazing how what you can come up with just because you bought some food on the street from somebody. Now all of a sudden it's a multi-million-dollar idea.
Oh,
No
and you know
one
what else
else
we're gonna
has ever thought of it ever in the history of mankind.
you know what I just thought of too? We're gonna have our first the clean bathroom business idea. That'll probably be the first one of those too. That will have set up next to the street because people are gonna want to use the bathroom, right?
Well, absolutely. Well, you need to have the VIP bathrooms like at Lollapalooza and stuff where it's like the trailers.
Air conditioning, yeah.
Right, right.
Claire, your
Where
wife,
it's air conditioning and the trailers and stuff like that. Those are the bathrooms you have. You don't have the porta potties.
now Claire, I see what you're saying here about there being 15 food trucks by the university in Hyde Park, but it's not the same as me just rolling up and there's a dude on the street. I'm telling you, there's something about it. When you see the dude set up on the street, it's a different experience.
I guess you're talking about a whole compound. But
Yeah, just
you're saying, yeah, I mean, but still, I like it off of a food truck too.
but this is better because we're gonna have tents.
So if there was a food truck, and a tent next to each other, you'd go to the tent.
Because I like seeing it set up right in front of me. I could see everything.
Gotcha.
And it makes me want to buy more. I'm like, well, like that torta. I always get a burrito and I saw a girl get this. I'm like, what's that? I'm like, torta. I'm like, because normally I wouldn't buy a torta, but I'm like, man, look at that cheese. The way he just basically wrapped everything in that cheese. And you saw how big it was.
Was that your first ever torta?
No.
Oh, okay.
Are you nuts?
But your first ever street torta.
No, I've had other street tortas,
Oh,
but
okay.
this place in particular, I always get the burrito.
Gotcha.
No, another place used to do buy one torta, get one free on like Tuesdays, another street place. So I would get those tortas.
Well, yeah, because they had the leftover meat from the weekend. They're trying to get rid of
the tainted meat.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else, Roker, before we wrap things up?
No, that's it. Try and you skipped out on this week's homework assignment. Try and watch Secrets of the Bunny Ranch before next week or in the next 2 weeks or whenever the next. We did 2 shows in a row, so that's a start.
I will watch the Bunny Ranch show, and KO makes a great point. Yes, we should have a meet and greet at Street Meat.
Ah, see the meat puns are coming. Yeah, meet and greet can't beat the meat.
Hey, come on down for a meet and greet. This is going to be great. And guess what? We're going to have bands too. Oh, Chips Enough is here. Enough's Enough.
And no one ever gets sick. No one ever gets sick. There are no fights. There's no gang activity. None of that other stuff that happens at other places.
In fact, we're gonna like pat everyone down before they come in.
Oh, they got to come through. They got to come through metal detectors like I do when I go to the casino now.
You know what's crazy?
Or a baseball game. I got to empty my pockets and go through a metal detector.
You know, I never really think about it. When I'm in a Chicago or an Indiana casino or an Illinois casino, they do that whole thing where they check you in and you give them your license. You know, when you're in Vegas, you just walk in and no one bothers you. That's how it is in California too. You go to a casino here, you just walk in. They don't check anything.
Right. No.
That's great. Why is that?
Well, because they've got cameras everywhere.
No, I know, but they don't, like here, when I go to the casino, they don't check anything. They don't ask you for your ID. There's a sign that says, if you look like you're under 35, we might card you or something.
Right next to the no children allowed in the casino.
No, they allow children.
Right. Oh, they allow. Keep your children here. Keep children can't cross the line.
They treat their casinos here the way Vegas does, like a resort, almost like a resort where it's just like you do whatever you want. No one checks anything. It's crazy.
Well, that's not the way it is here. You got to walk through this metal detectors and
I know
you get scanned like an MRI and just
you
play penny slots.
You put your phone in one of those Yoder bags.
Yeah, it's like you're at the Spell show. Yeah,
exactly. All right. Well, I'm going to work on Street Meat. Roker, tell the story of how you were mistaken for a felon and almost shot. That's from Double. Is that the Canada story?
Very quickly. Yep. Bears, Lions in Detroit. So I had my Harrah's points. So we're staying at Caesars in Windsor, and came across the border to tailgate. And basically, they had me get out of the car and have a bunch of people with machine guns on me because apparently I have the same last name of some worldwide fugitive. Meanwhile, I got four knuckleheads in the car laughing and bottles of alcohol in the trunk because we're on our way to a tailgate. And I'm like, finally, they let me go after about an hour. And I'm like, can you make sure that they all know that I'm not that guy when we come back from the game?
Yeah.
He's like, I can't promise you anything. Like, all right then. Haven't been to Canada since, I'll tell you that.
I still have not been to Canada. I want to go to Canada. I want to go to Montreal. I heard it's awesome.
I almost could say I've had a great time every time I've been to Canada, with the exception of the time I had a bunch of machine guns pulled on me. I'm like, I thought you guys didn't carry guns. I thought the Canadian Mountie Police didn't carry guns.
Were they dressed like the Mountie, the wrestler?
They were. That was the uniform. Yep. Yep.
Like Jacques Rougeau.
And I'm like, don't tell Claire. I'm telling everybody in the car, don't tell Claire when we get out. Don't tell her.
Well, she found out. If she didn't, she's watching now.
She did. Well, she found out because I'm an honest guy. I can't.
You're not going to believe what happened.
I can't keep a secret from her.
They pulled out machine guns again. You're not going to believe it. It happened again. All right. Well, we'll be back next week. Happy 4th of July, everyone. Be careful. Hey, be careful with those fireworks.
Yes, please come back next week with 10 fingers and 10 tones, unless you're Rahm Emanuel listening right now.
I should do a quick PS Abe to wrap things up, because it is very essential that you have to keep your kids away from the dude who's holding a lighter and missing fingers. Thank you. That was it. Keep your kids away from a dude, all the dudes who are holding a lighter that are missing fingers, because that's the wrong guy to be around.
Yeah, the guy that has an M80 in one hand
and a beer
and alcohol in the other. Yeah. Run. And if there's nobody, and if you don't see anybody like that, that means that's you. So
yeah, it's very important to have all these. See,
that's exactly right.
It's worked out nicely for me. 10 fingers. Look at it. Roker, can I see yours? I just want to make sure you have
I've got them all. Got them all. There we go.
Now, wouldn't it be awful if
I'm used to having this is how I was at the Canadian border.
Roker, let's show our hands right now, just in case something happens to one of us.
All right, there you go.
There's 10 and there's 10.
5 on that one.
We're good to go
on that one. But you've never seen both of my hands in the same place at the same time. All right. Happy 4th of July. Aaron is closing things out. Thank you. And all right, we'll be back next week, God willing. Yes, peace. This is peace.